All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the bubble method is tricky. All right, and this is what happens when that is not 1. All right, when it's 3, we have to do different things. So 3 and 5, those are the first two numbers we're looking at. The factors go in these bubbles. So that'll be 3, and that'll be 1. And this is 5, and it's 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, those are the only two factors, so we have something going on here. We have to make sure we know what we're doing. So this is positive, so that's not going to affect us, but that being negative 16 is. All right, we're trying to get negative 16. So let me just do this real quick. I'm going to match the 3 with the 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, good. Now, 1 times 1 is 1. Now, that will give me a positive 16 if I take these two numbers and add them. 15 and the 1. So what I'm going to do is, since I want a negative 16 now, is I'm going to make them both negative. If I do that, that gives me a negative 16. So I found how to connect these. So I'm going to make that a negative and make that a negative. And now we're trying to figure out how to plug these in here. Okay? So you're going to draw this line and draw that line. But I color-coded for a reason, and this is why I color-coded. Now, first thing, these came from x squared. So these each will have an x on them. I'm going to start with the 3x. Now the 3x is paired with the negative 5. So I follow this line, I pair it with the negative 5. That's the tricky part right there. Now the next part, this 1x right here is paired with the minus 1. So the 1x goes there, and then it connects with the minus 1. So there are a lot of moving parts with these. Okay, I'm going to do several examples. I'm going to break it down into 2 different videos on the bubble method to hopefully help you out. But let me explain exactly what happened or what we got. All right, so let me get rid of these lines real quickly and explain why everything we did was right. When I multiply this out, it's 3x times x minus 5, and then minus 1 times x minus 5. So I get 3x squared minus 15x minus 1x plus 5. Okay? So I get exactly what I have here, but check this out. Those two are basically right there. So you have to end up getting what you started with no matter what. And you can always multiply it out to make sure you get what you started with before you turn in. But this is your answer right there. Okay, now the next one's going to be a little easier because they're both positive. So with this one, we're just going to go for it and start off the exact same way. Now this is a 2, not 1. So that's why you use the bubble method. When this is a number, when this right here is not 1, you use the bubble method. Now, I'm forgetting to say, hey, see what you can take out first, but this is the bubble method, so I'm making sure we're using the bubble method every time. The factors of 2 are 2 and 1. The factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. All right, so this makes it a little bit more difficult when you have a composite number right here. Prime numbers easy to work with, like they were over here, only one bubble each. Now we have work to do. So we have to try and get a positive 11. Now the good thing is we're not dealing with any negatives here. That's positive and that's positive. So no negatives involved. We just have to get two things that add up to 11. So if I did this across here and here, that would be 2 and that'd be 12. So 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 12 is 12. Will that get you 11? No. Okay. Next up. What about the 2 and the 12? That gives you 24. 1 times 1 is 1. So, no, that doesn't work either. When you get done with the bubble, we only have one on the left side, so we have to use that one. But the one on the right side, we cashed it out. There's nothing they can do to help us right now. Okay? So now we're going to go back here. The 2 and the 2 give you 4. The 1 and the 6 give you 10. Oh, we're so close. But it doesn't work. So, that combination's not going to work. Then you cross it. You see what happens there. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. One's getting close, but 14 and 11, not the same. So we tried both combinations there, and neither of them worked. So that bubble is cashed out as well. So now down here, 2 and 3 give you 6, 1 and 4 give you 4. So when you add those two up, 6 and 4 gives you 10, not 11. Womp, womp, womp. So now what we have to do is we have to do the 2 with the 4 and the 1 with the 3. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. And look at that. We got our 11. So now we can actually factor. All good things. So I'm going to draw my two sets of parentheses here. Now, a couple things to remember. You have to draw this and that. Let's look at an upside down rainbow or like really weird smiles. So here's the issue. We don't have to worry about signs. They're both going to be positive. All right. We didn't have a negative sign in the whole thing, so didn't have to worry about that. These right here, since they come first, it's my 2 and my 1, sorry. They're my n's. All right. They came from this term, so they both have to have an n. So I have a 2n, and that one gets paired up with the, let me color code this real quick. Use orange. 2n paired up with the 4, so then 2n pairs up with the 4. Okay? Then we have the 1n pairing up with the 3. So the 1n pairs up with the 3. All right, that's it. 2 examples, done. Now, I'm going to try and get to these two quickly, and that should be all right before I start the next video. So I got 2 and 2, 1 and 4, there's 3 and 1. So I'm trying to get 7 out of this. So hopefully you can see what's going to happen here, but if you can't, that's okay. Pause it and try it on your own. Anyway, the 1 and the 3 give you 3, the 4 and the 1 give you 4. So that gives me my 7 right there. So I'm going to make my parentheses, draw my 2 lines. My 1n pairs up with the 3. So my 1n pairs up with the 3, positive 3. And then my, I don't want red, do I? No. My 4n, I shouldn't have done blue either, pairs up with the 1. So my 4n pairs up with the positive 1. Okay? So these two numbers over here do not get used as a bubble. They're just over there to check to make sure we got 7. But that's your answer there. Now, last one on this video right here, I have 2 and 1. And I have 2 and 3. I also have 6 and 1. So if we're factoring here, this is what I'm looking for. All right, because we're going to need it anyway. All right, trying to get our luscious negative 7 out. So negative 7 means a couple things. That's positive, so they both have to be the same sign over here. And then they both have to be negative. So we're going to be dealing with negatives here. So what I would do is, let's see here. 2 times 2, let's try this out. 2 times 2 is 4, and then 1 times 3 is 3. That gives me 7. I guessed correctly. Now, we want a negative 7, so we have to make both of those negative. In that case, we have to make each of these negative as well. All right? So, we got our number. We just have to change some things. So, let me change my color real quick, and then we'll jump in. These are my x's right here. Can't forget about them, even though you want to. There's 2x, and that 2x is pairing up with the negative 2. Now, let me change this. My 1x is pairing up with the negative 3. So that gives me my negative 7x. And if you wanted to multiply it out, you would get exactly what you started with, which means you factored it correctly.